Hello and welcome to Dawn Chorus Writes, a Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction and audio fiction. This is the series All I Want for Christmas, part of Holiday Magic Season. So I hope you're enjoying it so far. Make sure you smash that like button, comment down below what you think of it and what will happen next, and make sure you subscribe because this is part 5 and there's more to come and you don't want to miss out on other little treats coming your way. And a massive shout out to the artist in the thumbnail, and send her some love. All her information's in the description below. So I hope you enjoy. Part 5. A nervous wreck. Adrien's POV. It had been a few days and still Adrien hadn't found the perfect opportunity to ask Marinette out on a date that wouldn't be dramatised by Alia and commented on by Chloe. They hardly had any alone time together, but today was going to be different. Today, he would make it happen. Encouraged by Plagg's teasing, Adrien had come up with a plan to create a new project. This had been the plan all along, before he was distracted by the fact Marinette turned out to be his lady, his bugaboo. He wanted to create the ease of them working together. He chuckled to himself, realizing for the first time why they had worked so well. After all, they were Ladybug and Cat Noir, cementing the fact that Adrien and Marinette shared the same dynamics as their counterparts. He just had to show it to her.
Kid, why are you making this more complicated? Why don't you just ask her out on an actual date?
Plagg moaned from the locker, flinging another piece of cheese into his mouth.
What if she says no? Or it becomes awkward and she regrets it? No, this way we have things to talk about, something to focus on. An excuse not to tell her your feelings.
Plagg, be quiet. And it's not like that. It's just, I'm scared. Adrien? Are you alright? He closed his locker door and saw Marinette pop her head around the corner. Sorry, I didn't mean... It was rude of me. I shouldn't have. But did you say you're scared?
Yeah. I talk to myself from time to time. Helps to get my thoughts out of my head.
He knew he had turned the darkest shade of red you could imagine, feeling the heat to cause a ripple of sweat to trickle down his back. Had she heard the rest? Had she heard him say Plagg?
I did say that. I'm making a project. I'm scared I won't get it done in time for Christmas. Way to go, Aggress. Smooth.
Oh, really? You're working on a project? Can I ask? What is it, and would you like some help with it? I mean, if you're worried that you won't get it done in time, we could work on together like last time. You helped me, so it's only fair to return the favor. She glanced up at him through her eyelashes with her face tilted down, scrunching up her nose as she pursed her pink lips together. Oh, too cute. And how he could... No, remain focused, but how could he? With her ocean eyes he could drown in, or tempting lips drawing him in. He pretended to get an extra book out of his locker, anything to distract him, as Plagg sat there, smirking at him with his bright red face.
Yeah, would be nice you offer help that like me.
What was wrong with his words? Why was he not able to function?
I mean, yes, I would be grateful for your help.
He took a deep breath. Her face held a questioning stare. Great. Shall we say tomorrow? Unless you already have plans. I know how your timetable can be busy at this time of year. She tugged her woolly sleeve down over her hand and twisted the fabric at the edges before brushing it against her lips, hiding her smile. No, I mean, tomorrow will work. I don't have any other commitments. He watched as her smile grew wider and wasn't able to hide it as the glow reached her cheeks and then into her eyes. Thank you, Marinette. I really enjoyed spending time with you. His mind floated back to the other night he had curled up with his princess and the home he wished for, the weight of her head on his shoulder, wanting to wrap his arm around her. The same wanting held in his arms as she lingered in front of him, to feel the warmth of a hug in that woolly jumper that she probably knitted. Wow, he was getting easily distracted today. I mean, yeah, your help would be amazing. I was actually going to ask you, but you beat me to it. He chuckled as her eyes widened at the prospect of him asking her. The memories of the words she had spoken, the hat, the scarf, flashed into his mind. I like you, Marinette. I like you a lot. He took a step forward and ran his hand down from her shoulder to her elbow. He hadn't meant to blurt it out, but he was going with it. She deserved to know. She meant more to him than a friend. Really? A hand dropped from her mouth and revealed an "oh" shape. His hand continued down her arm until they reached her hand. He breathed in and noticed her fingers locking around his. The warning bell for afternoon classes sounded out as students gathered in the locker room, collecting their things. But this time, he would not let go of her warm hand and nodded in confirmation. She took a step closer to him and rested her free hand on his chest, playing with a button on his shirt, and was about to say something, only to be broken apart when their class descended on them, not paying attention to what was happening before them, and began tugging them in opposite directions. Marinette got carried away with Alia and Zoe into the corridor whilst Adrien heard Nino and Kim argue over a move in a video game. He wasn't paying much attention. He had said it. Well, half of it, half of his feelings for her, was a good place to start, right? If he had suddenly blurted out that he loved her, that would be too scary, right? But the best part had been arranging the date with Marinette. Wait, could he call it a date? They had now officially moved out of the friend zone, but then she hadn't said anything back. Okay, he had at least arranged to meet with her tomorrow. Work on this project of his. His stomach felt giddy, fluttering and sick at the same time. Oh, why was he so nervous? He had taken the hardest step, but it had been the right one. Over the 2 weeks, so much had happened, getting closer to Marinette, to only find out that she was a ladybug, which had made complete sense, but also taking the time to work out his feelings as well as hers, not knowing if she could accept both sides of him, until he had seen the tenderness she had shown him with as Marinette, realizing how much Ladybug was a mask for her, one filled with pressure, anxiety and fear, but Marinette was warmth in a way a woolen blanket would wrap around you, or the sweetness of her room, of her, as he leant against her, surrounded him in a scent of vanilla frosting, or peace. A calming sensation washed over you as she hummed, focusing on her task. Dude, are you coming? The bell has sounded for the second time. Nina called out from the door.
Yeah.
He fumbled with his bag, noticing Plagg was no longer in his locker, but instead fast asleep, curled up into a ball.
What's wrong with you today? You seem distracted, quieter than normal.
Nino stared back at his friend. They were the last ones in the corridor and heard the noise emitted out of their maths class.
No, I'm good.
Adrien stepped over the doorway and caught a glance of Marinette, who was discussing something with Alia.
I'm better than good.
She darted her eyes away from her friend for a split second and landed on him. A glowing pink blush formed against her cheek and felt it mirrored on his.
I'm great.
He had to look away before they received comments and saw his friend grinning back at him.
Oh, I know that look, my friend. You have it bad, don't you? Shh, Nino. I'll talk to you later. But wait, you and...
Adrien ignored his friend and climbed into the seat directly in front of Marinette, her gaze boring into the back of his head.
No, wait. Alia is...
Adrien spun round.
No, Alia.
He breathed with an almost hiss.
No pressure.
Not until it's official.
You have my word, dude.
He mimicked the gesture of zipping his lips shut. The first hour dragged past, staring at the same set of numbers for the past 10 minutes. His brain didn't want to think. The only thing that seemed to distract him was sketching out the design for the project as doodles on the side of his paper. He couldn't help keeping an ear out for any wandering conversation that didn't seem too personal filtering down from behind him, hoping to hear his name mentioned. He thought of sending her a note to ask for time and place for tomorrow, but that seemed too personal, while sending a text wasn't personal enough. He huffed at how complicated he made this in his mind. At the end of the lesson, people began chattering, gathering up their supplies, discussing the weekend plans. Adrien, taking a deep breath, fighting back the threatening, burning sensation in his throat.
Marinette,
Adrien, they said as one, followed by chuckles and questioning looks from their friends. She gestured for him to go first.
I was just wondering what time would work best for you, for tomorrow.
He fought the urge to rub the back of his neck, instead twisted the leather strap on his back.
I can do early. Bring coffee or tea, whatever you like.
Great. Early. Shall we say 9? I need to help my parents with the breakfast run in the morning, but should be done by then.
Cool,
he said, suddenly aware that they were being watched by their friends as if they were animals in the zoo.
Well, I better head. Can I text you?
He swung the bag over his shoulder and glanced up at her, melting at the warm smile he received back.
Yeah,
she squeaked. Okay, time to leave before his face turned the same colour as his partner's suit. Her suit. Grinning at his own secret. Oh, all I want for Christmas is... Thank you for listening to part 5 of All I Want for Christmas. Make sure you keep an eye out for part 6 coming very soon. Make sure you smash that like button, comment down below what you think of it and what will happen next, and subscribe so you do not miss out on part 6 and other treats to come. Okay, I hope you are good, and this comes out on Christmas Eve, so I wish you a very Merry Christmas. I hope you have a good one, whatever you may be doing and wherever you are in the world. Bye.